I mean, CNN is a fantastic, they're great. They do great news. Like on Syria, they sent a woman over to Syria to make sure you knew there was gas attacks. Here's how you know there's a gas attack.
And there's definitely something.
Yeah, they had a woman, she went and sniffed it. Oh, is there poison gas on there? Let me sniff it. Yeah, this is deadly. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead. This is how committed I am to the news.
But Jimmy, she's had a distinguished career. She went over and smelled Fukushima, and it had melted down. So yeah.
Yes, this is radioactive. It stings.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me smell this. Oh, this smells like a false flag. Hold on.
That's how CNN covers Syria, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the people who write articles about me and say, I don't know what I'm talking about.
And there's definitely something that stings.
It stinks. Yep. Assad is gassing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's almost peeling the nail polish off my fingernails.
I know Saren. That's Saren. Yeah, Saren right in my nose. Yeah, she'd be so dead. She'd be so dead if that were Saren.
Okay, if someone told you, "Hey, I have a backpack. It has some poisonous gas sprayed on it," what would your reaction be? Well, let me sniff it. See if you're bullshitting. Turns out that woman who did that also is the granddaughter of the former president of Syria who got, that's fucking fact. That's how that's it. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Do you think I'm making that up?
No, you're not making
I know. Fucking Google it. So the reason why I show you all this is because here, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of this. I don't know if you saw. I saw Anderson Cooper interview Marianne Williamson, and he was giving her a hard time about how she thought about pharmaceutical products to treat depression. And she said, well, you know, you're sponsored by these same, like, how can you talk to me? And he says, well, I don't know who the commercials are that play. It's like, right, what other profession would you get points for not knowing how shit works? What other profession? They'd be like, hey, you know that if you fix the carburetor, it's still gonna yeah, well, I don't know how the carburetors. When I'm working, I don't look at the carburetor. I'm looking only at the alternator and the... If I knew more about cars, this would be a better joke. There aren't even carburetors anymore in cars. As I realized halfway through as I was saying that, they don't even have carburetors anymore. They have fuel injection since the fucking 80s. What is wrong with me? Carburetor? You know, their 8-track player is not working correctly.
VHS isn't working.
Could you imagine if a sports announcer was just like covering the game, like he seems to have thrown something down the field, another guy is running completely the other direction, like I don't know what's going on. That guy would not have a job. He wouldn't have a job. This guy every fucking week.
Hey, there's a new war in Venezuela, and these guys are all advocating for it. I don't get it. Whatever. Here, let's go to a commercial for Raytheon. I don't get why this is happening. So here he brings on. This is the campaign. This is Faiz Shakur, who's the campaign advisor to Bernie Sanders, and he brings him on, and he's going to complain about how the media covers the news. And let's watch.
The heart of the critique about what Sanders calls the corporate media. What do you want people like me to do differently?
What do people like me want you to do? Quit. We would like you to quit. Is that going to happen? Will you be quitting, Brian? I don't think that's going to happen. Here we go.
Well, Brian, this isn't a personal commentary on you or any other journalist. There's many wonderful, talented journalists out there, but...
There's many wonderful, talented journalists out there, and believe me, the corporate media does not want to hire them. Right?
That's always that's in the standard reply from anyone who's about to critique the media on CNN. They're like, please keep having us on, because we're not talking about you, but yeah, you.
Yeah, we're not talking. There's a lot of great journalists out there. You never see them on TV or in the newspaper, but they're out there. You know, there's guys like Aaron Matei. You gotta go to Grenade Zone or Jimmy fucking Dore show. Those guys like Tim Black, Lee Camp. We don't want to ever talk about those guys. You'll never be hired by you. Okay, let's go.
You know, when I hear him say talented journalist, all I keep thinking is, oh, can they sing and dance and write? Triple threat.
Song and dance, man. So let's listen to one more. Yes.
About, a minute or so or 2 minutes or so, you're going to cut to commercial breaks and you're going to see some pharmaceutical ads. You're going to see a lot of ads that are basically paying your bills and the bills of this the entire media enterprise. And what that ends up doing is incentivizing you and others to make sure that you're asking the questions and driving the conversations in certain areas and not in certain areas. Right now, Bernie Sanders is on a bus across.
What evidence do you have?
What evidence do you have that advertising affects what we say, except maybe you've watched our shows?
What evidence do you have that those on these networks that say something that's out of line, that doesn't fit into a tiny, acceptable media landscape, don't continue to have great careers on this network? Phil Donahue, Ed Schultz, Dylan Radigan, Chris Hedges, Jesse Ventura, fucking lots of evidence, lots of fucking evidence.
In what other situation do the people who fund you exert any kind of control over the enterprise,
It's crazy talk, man. Like the NFL owners, same thing. Don't kneel. They just stop kneeling.
I do find it suspect that Brian Stetler, if from reliable sources, is asking for evidence ever.
Okay.
In his defense, the necktie is cutting off the air supply to his head. So what do you want from him?
In his defense, he is the type of guy who actually did read Playboy magazine for the articles.
I don't actually know what ads run during the breaks. I actually don't see the commercials. I don't know what runs.
I don't know what runs. I mean, it's my job to know if we have a conflict of interest, but I don't know who funds us. Is there a problem?
Well, the beauty is he doesn't have to know what runs because he's never criticized a corporation in his fucking life. So there you go. It doesn't matter what runs.
And I'd argue, so I reached out to Phil Griffin, the head of MSNBC, and happy to talk to Jeff Zucker and others. It isn't about you, Brian, but about how these media structures are set and operated and the biases that I believe are embedded within them.
No, it's not about you, Brian. Of course, you do a great job. Look at you not even knowing who funds you or who controls you and makes you say the shit you say. You're doing great work. This isn't about you, it's about the other dummies.
About what they really decide are segments worthy.
Right.
I think that's really interesting.
I like how he goes, that's very interesting. Hey, you just exposed my employer and the structure I'm part of as being a complete scam. That's very interesting. It's very interesting what you just said. Super interesting. So he goes on.
Being covered that needs to be covered more.
So then he says to him, what do you want us to cover? Here.
Being covered that needs to be covered more. What are those topic areas?
Well, I mean, one classic area, of course, is, we're going across the border right now to talk about prescription drugs. Do you know why you pay so much more, 10 times more in America on prescription drugs than any other country?
I'm paid to pretend that why I don't know why. That's why I'm pretending. No, why do they pay that? I don't know. Why that's happening?
You want to know that or understand why? Do you know what the Trump administration is doing about that?
No, I don't know. No.
Do you even know who the head of the Health and Human Services Secretary is? Do you know his background?
No, I don't know his background. No, am I supposed to know this? I don't see the commercials. Is this part of the commercials? Did they put that in the commercials? Because I didn't see that. I didn't see it.
In the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, I think Donald Trump turns out these tweets and attempts to distract all of us, and there isn't a basic conversation around the fact that he's betraying the working class by having selected a group of people to run his government who come from industry, who benefit industry, and that story is not told. And why
don't
is
you
that
know all
story
that from the press? Don't you know all that from reporting?
From CNN's reporting?
Hell no.
No, that's not how I know it.
No, that mean from your reporting, you piece of shit? No, that didn't. You know that from reporting, though. Yeah, I know that from reporting from people like Aaron Matei and Gray Zone Project and Kyle Kalinske and Tim Black and Lee Camp and Jimmy Dore. I don't know that because of you motherfucker. That's why he knows it. Okay.
Done my own research, and we've done our own research to know
By
it.
reading stories, by
There's
reading news
probably a few
stories about it.
By reading stories, though. That's how you find it out. By reading news stories, right? Right? Right?
It'd be great if he were like, well, yes, but from legitimate journalists. From people that actually did the work.
You know, people like Chris Hedges on RT, stuff like that. That's weird. Okay. So here he keeps going.
Yeah, and I would argue too, and you know this well, Brian, that TV is a certain medium that has an influential power, and I'm making more of a critique here of what TV media decides to cover, and it tends to be a game. It tends to be a gotcha. I appreciate that Donald Trump's tweets are important, and we'll have a conversation about that, but it also belies a conversation that he doesn't want to have, and I think that's what I think me, Bernie Sanders, a lot of us feel gets obfuscated is that the things that affect real Americans' lives.
He goes, I think many viewers will agree with you, and I hope to someday know what that feels like.
That was the best backward compliment where he was like, I respect that many of Donald Trump's tweets are very important. Because you guys do great with that, really.
Right, many viewers agree with you. This shiny object, the sensationalism, it's a problem. You know, the question is whether it's, I think, effective for you all to call it out. Maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it's worth citizens calling out corrupt institutions. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe it's worth it to you. If it was me, I would fucking ignore it and just go get a lemon.
That amounts to everything you said is true, but that was really impolite of you to tell me.
As one support from his fans by attacking the media. Maybe that's what you think will work as well.
So he's trying to compare that the Trump voters or the Trump campaign with the Bernie campaign, saying, well, that's their tactic too. Trump attacks the media. Maybe you think it'll work for you. Maybe you think it'll work for fucking you, right?
Yeah. He's trying to say you're the same as Trump, but Trump has been attacking the media. Perhaps because that's the real world where the media fucking sucks. Yes, Trump lies, the media lies, but that doesn't stop the media from lying. That doesn't, just because you say Trump does it doesn't make it not true.
Yeah, who's got a worse approval rating, Trump or the media? Pretty close, Johnson.
Yeah, it's neck and neck, right?
I mean, so we're not playing a game here, all right? It is truly based out of conviction and sincerity that we do see biases operating against the campaign, but also against the issues we care deeply about. You rarely see pundits on TV talking about the value of Medicare for all. You see a lot of people criticizing Medicare for all. You don't see the people talking about the value of canceling all student debt. You see people criticizing it. And why is that, right? Just ask yourself. You're taking on corporate power. You're taking on the establishment.
Do you see his face? Did you watch his face? So why is it we never see people taking on corporate power? Why? Ask yourself. And he goes,
Somebody needs a squatty potty.
he literally was like, oh, okay. He goes, I'm going to ask myself. Okay, here we go.
Establishment across the board, and all we're arguing for is, can we have a fair shake?
All we're arguing for is, could you do your fucking job once? That's all we're asking, is if you could actually become a journalist and do your job and tell the truth about what's happening. That's all we're asking. All right, so here's what Jim Earl, who writes for the show, he said, Sanders' campaign manager makes the obvious observation that CNN and MSNBC are paid by the pharmaceutical and bank industries. Brian Stelter responds, he doesn't know what ads run during his show, then cuts to ads for pills and the Discover card. You're either a liar or incompetent.
Nice.
Brian Stelter, maybe I am incompetent. Pretty sure you could just stop there. But I don't know what ads run during the show. I don't see them. Other anchors on other shows don't see them either. I see a black screen during the commercial breaks. So he's admitting he doesn't understand how media works. The media critic is going, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see it, so it's not happening. That's what he's...
And also, maybe I'm repeating myself, but also the reason that he's in that job, that many of the people at CNN are in those jobs, is because they never criticize any corporations. You're not going to see them go after any pharmaceutical. So him not knowing which fucking dick pills play during CNN, it doesn't matter because he's not going to go after any of them.
Yeah, what Lee's saying is absolutely right, man. Like, you kind of know, even though I'm just getting into the business, that there are things that are off limits, and people intuitively know, like, Bernie's the bad guy. Like, they don't fuck with Bernie. If you want anything, you want to do anything in media that's even Hollywood, you got to be anti-Bernie, pro-Hillary, that side of the aisle. That's a given. I've spoken to people on Twitter who are actors, famous people, actors that you may know. That's just the deal, man. You just can't. And you don't have to be told it. It's unwritten rule. And Brian fucking knows it. Lee knows it.
What's the deal? Tell me the deal again.
No Bernie. Anybody but Bernie, anybody but Tulsi, that's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is the deal. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is November 5th in Buffalo, New York, November 17th in Philadelphia, and December 27th in Honolulu. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all of our live shows and become a patron or a Jimmy Dore Show member at jimmydorecomedy.com/join and support the show. We give you hours of bonus content every week. Thanks for your support.